Hello, my name is Jim. I live in Texas, and the purpose of this video is to discuss my Lowrance XOG GPS, which I use on my Ninja 250 motorcycle that you see here. The XOG is made by the Lowrance company. They're not real well known in the world of motorcycles, although their iWay GPS series has a quite large following in the motorcycle community. They are extremely big in marine navigation, and they have significant aviation navigation. I also own a Lowrance aviation handheld. Let's just start with the Lowrance. Why did I buy the Lowrance? First of all, it's small. It's 3.5 inches by 3 inches, or if you're metric, 8 centimeters by 9.5 centimeters. It'll fit in a shirt pocket. It weighs virtually nothing. As you see it here, it's pretty much self-contained. It's got an internal battery that does not last a whole long time. It's also capable of voice directions, and it's also an MP3 player. It's water resistant but not completely waterproof. There are 2 flaps on either side. On one side, the flap reveals an SD card. I have a 2 gig SD card in there, which is plenty of room for lots of stuff. On the other side, you have earphone jack for the voice directions and MP3 music, and a mini USB plug for which it gets power, and for which it can be used to talk to a computer. To power it on the bike, I have, but have not yet installed, a 5-volt power supply that hardwires into your bike's electrical system. I'll probably connect to the horn in my Ninja, which is right convenient to this location and is on when the power is on. In the meantime, I've been using a Black & Decker battery pack that has a USB plug on it. Well, don't pay the $50 I've seen this in stores for. I got this 2 for $5 or 2 for $10, I think, on either Woot, W-O-O-T, or buy.com. And that'll power this unit for hours and hours. So we've seen it's a small, lightweight unit. It's got about a 2 to 3 hour battery life, as you see it here. Now let me reposition the camera and we'll turn it on. First of all, let me mention the mount. I use a ram mount. There's screws in the top and bottom of the unit, corresponding grooves in the ram mount. Slip it in there, and I'll listen for the nice click, nice solid click, and that's in there pretty solid. Just to be on the safe side, I'll usually tie this lanyard off on something on the bike too, just to be safe, but this is a very sturdy mount. The way I would lose it is if I let this clamp here that clamps the 3-inch extension to the ball, if that got loose, that's how you lose it. So you do need to lanyard this down for any GPS device you want to keep on a motorcycle. Let me reposition the camera and we'll turn it on. Okay, there's 2 ways to turn the device on. One way is to use the on-off switch, which is on the top here. The other way is just to apply power to the USB port, which if I had the power supply connected I would do, and that automatically powers it up. But we'll turn it on manually with the little button, and it'll do its boot up thing. XOG standing for crossover GPS. This is for hiking and boating. You can get topographical maps for this for the whole country for $100, so you can get extremely detailed for your hiking and off-roading and geocaching. You can also get marine maps. Lowrance has an excellent series of marine maps available. This is the main display. No, we're not going to simulate it right just yet. This is the main map display. It's movable. You can slew it. When you slew it, you get this little menu here, which tells you this freezes the map in this position. The plus and minus make it more or less detailed.
Head north.
Okay, we're not going to head north. This changes the view mode, and this puts it back in normal navigation mode, as you see there. This button up here, this button I, tells you information about your current position. You can also use this to save a point if you want to save it. That brings you up the options menu. There's several interesting things here. If you hit the bars for the signal strength, or the signal strength or battery, you get the status page that tells you your position, and it's already locked on. I was hoping it wouldn't actually, but it did. This is a 12-channel GPS. It is not a WAAS, and it's not a WASP GPS. So instead of the position accuracy being in the order of 3 to 6 feet, it's on the order of 25 feet most of the time, which is enough for my purposes. The main choices you have are the map display we just saw. You have a music player, There you go. It's a perfectly good MP3 player. Works real well. I've got a motorcycle podcast in there, so I'd stand up right at this moment. Seemed appropriate. You hit this button and you can choose, you can go through the file system on your card looking for music. They recommend you have a folder in your card called music. I like, for example, I like Fins. They're a Jimmy Buffett cover band. Hit play. And you have a great Jimmy Buffett cover band playing. The speaker's really tinny, but the sound from through the earphones is excellent. That's the music option. The find option gives you a way to find points of interest. You've got a bunch of different kinds of points of interest that you can play. Not quite as many as on some GPSs. They compromise that a little bit, but several million of them. You can find intersections. You can type in coordinates. You can look for rest stops. That's nice on a motorcycle. You can see all kinds of stuff here. And you can search by name. Again, this is all done with a touch screen. And in fact, that reminds me, I'm going to put my motorcycle glove on to show that you can do most things wearing your glove. So hit this X to go back to the prior page. There we are on the options. Let's look at the options a little bit. We'll cover some of them. We can't cover them all because there's a whole bunch. It has a good routing feature. Here's a long ride. I'm calling the half butt ride because it's a 500-mile run. I'm going to use as a proving ground for to do a longer run. The most I've done so far in one ride is 400. So if you light it up, get it just right. There we go. It shows me the route. Go Abilene, Burleson, Texas, and back to my home trail in Austin. And I could hit start and it would start routing me down that route. It's got a trip calculator. You have a lot of options as to what it's going to draw. You can pick all kinds of things. I basically have it draw everything. You can get the directions that go with the route you selected. Navigation mode. This is, a lot of GPSs don't have this, but this is handy for off-road work. Normal mode is over roads, but you can also put it in point-to-point mode for your boat or hiking purposes. Okay, let's go back to the option screen. You have a page for pictures. There's a picture, just a typical one. Just it looks for a folder called Pictures on the card and shows you whatever's on there. That's the next Vice President and future President of the United States. Not a hot librarian from a R-rated movie. We can dream, though. Has a gauge page that shows you trip statistics. You can see what they are there, the time, distance to go, average speed, max speed, odometer there, a speedometer, ETA. Go back to the options. Other options that it's got, I'll come back to overlay setup. It's got a safety mode that you are not going to use because it prevents the GPS from the interface from working while you're moving. One thing that a lot of Garmin's don't have, that this one does have, is the ability to save trails. Trails are just lists of track points, so it'll keep a file of up to, I believe it's like 30,000 points. It'll leave little breadcrumbs on the screen, and it'll save their latitude and longitude. And I'm almost out of time already. You can set up the voice. There's what the voice sounds like.
1, 2, 3.
And you can control other aspects of the voice and what she says and what she reads and the music volume. And you can control the brightness. Also, it has a skinnable. It's skinnable. So, you can. I actually got a night mode screen off of the GPSPassion.com bulletin board because users can write skins for this. I think I'm out of time, so I'm going to have to go to a part 2 to show you the actual operation.